Greetings, my dears. I am Cryon of the Magnetic Service. While you are getting used to my partner's voice, we would like to fill this room with a special energy, for we have told you that the more people gather in a room, the more energy there is. And it also depends on the level of consciousness of those present, and we came here today to say, "Oh, dear ones, we know who you are." Some of those present are already accustomed to my partner's voice and perceive it as the voice of a spiritual force, the voice of the burning bush. Now we will wrap you in a cocoon of love. Ah, my dears, the Spirit itself is fortunate to walk among the rows today. We know you all by name, and these are not necessarily the names you have chosen for earthly incarnation. Truly, this hall will be full of love today, and if each person allows their peace of God, which is you, to shine and invites us into their heart, then it will be easier for other people to do the same. For tonight is full of power. Everything that you thought was impossible, maybe that's why you came here, will happen and be decided today. After all, it's time, isn't it? Ah, my dears, feel the presence of sacred entities, not only your mentors, but all those whom Cryon has brought here. For there are many of them, and now they will fill the hall. You know these entities very well, so your hearts are overflowing with love. Hug each other and feel their presence. They came here to say, "We love you dearly and know what you have been through." These are the words we speak tonight. This channeling will not be educational. Instead, we will take a brief overview of what we have been through, and this overview will help you understand some things. We will call this message, Humanity, a Vanishing Species. Some of you will say, "Oh no, Cryon, it can't be. Are we in danger? Are we all going to die?" We came here to say to you with love, no. Humanity as you know it will disappear. The place of the present people will be taken by those who have accepted the high vibrations. Your human nature will change completely. The alchemy of the spirit that is happening in you now makes you completely different from the old energy human. In order to talk about this change, we first need to tell you in general terms what you are like today, and know that some of your qualities seem quite amusing to the spirit. But the humorous side of the matter is quite appropriate, and is due to the fact that you are now living in a world of duality. This is what we will talk about. Created equal. The scriptures and other ancient texts say that people are created equal, but looking around you will say, "I don't really believe that." First of all, you differ in gender. Representatives of one sex understand that they are not like representatives of the other, and often they are very happy about this. Laughter. Deep down they think, "Look at us and look at them. We are not equal. It's a good thing I don't belong to them." Laughter. Created equal? Hardly, you might say. What about abilities? Look at the amazing abilities some people have, and I don't. The abilities of some people are simply incomparable to the abilities of most. How can the spirit claim that all are created equal? We'd better not even talk about appearance. Laughter. So it's unlikely that people are equal, you might say. No, my dears. This means that each of you comes to earth carrying the image of God within you. This image is the basis of your equality, for this image gives you the opportunity to change the planet. Change gradually, through small, humble deeds. Everything you do, using this image of God, can change the planet. We are talking about the fact that everything you do, using your God image as healers, and everything you do as ordinary people living on the planet, each with their own karma and their own tasks, can change another person, and those you change can do amazing things. We never tire of reminding you of this, speaking of your power. In the overall scheme of the universe of which you have no idea, wonderful things are hidden, sacred things, healers, counselors. The next time a stranger comes to you and asks for healing, know that it may be the one. It may be the one who is destined to give birth to children who will burst into the world, carrying with them the energy, infatuation with life's tragedies, a completely illogical trait, unenlightened, not positive, yet you indulge in it. We have talked about this before, but it needs to be repeated. It seems that many people create tragedy in their lives themselves, and then enjoy it and savor it. If you somehow manage to extricate yourself from a difficult situation for a moment, you immediately create another one. Ah, my dears, this is an important part of your duality. Your task is to overcome tragedy, to realize that this old energy model is incompatible with the peace of an enlightened person. Some tragedies are created by the intellect. Remember, we've talked about this before. It is precisely because of the duality of the human condition that you wake up in the middle of the night and a voice in your head says, "Isn't it time to worry about something?" And even if you are the most enlightened person, your sleepy subconscious mind will soon agree. Then another question follows. So what are we going to worry about? And you obediently create a new tragedy. Oh, my dears, this is just a trick. That's what it is. It's part of your task. The intellectual part of your being wants to say that you are nothing, and this is where the duality of your position comes in. Dwelling on the past. People love to live in the past. No, Cryon is not at all thrilled with linear time, but I have to deal with it constantly while I'm here. It's just amazing to watch how people treat time, because they choose a significant period of their lives and then worship it for the rest of their days. And that's not even the most amazing thing, because there are other people who choose the most terrible moment in their lives, immerse themselves in it, and never even stick their noses out. Obsession with the past is a circular movement of energy, a circle, another circle, another circle. The movement feeds on itself, and the result is a closed-off person, a person who prevents himself from understanding who he is. Pause. Healing is happening now. Let's take some time for this, because there are those among you who have finally realized something. I am using a third language during this lesson, which affects the hearts of those present in this hall. The teaching given during this channeling is spoken by the partner in English, but Cryon himself speaks a third language, and now he will convey something that will change your life, the ego. Every person has an ego, and this is one of the biggest mysteries for those who have never lived in a duality. The ego is the complete opposite of love, and many of you know this. The balance between ego and love is of great importance in human life. Both of these properties of your duality are quite appropriate. They are given to you with love and are your biological imprint. You are highly respected for your work with these properties. An ego softened by love is appropriate, and in its pure, unadulterated form, it becomes the enemy of love. Think about it. Isn't it strange that poison becomes medicine if you add a little love to it? This is exactly what happens with the ego. We have told you about the 4 signs of love, and if you study the pure ego, you will find that it possesses diametrically opposite signs. Let's recall the signs of love. See Chapter 1. The first sign of love. Love is quiet, and the ego is not. The ego always shouts from the highest towers, "Look, here I am." But love doesn't do that. Love has no purpose, but the ego does. "If you do this for me, I will do that for you," says the ego. As a result, I wins. Goals every step of the way. Love does not boast, but the ego does this almost all the time. And finally, love has the wisdom to use the other 3 signs, and the ego is unaware of its stupidity. Remember this, the signs of the ego. However, these signs of the ego are inherent in you. You all bring them with you when you come to Earth. Mothers see all these qualities in their children and wonder where they came from. It's just that these qualities are created by the Spirit itself, and you take them with you according to a predetermined plan to hide the God within. The number of people. Let's talk about the number of people living on the planet today. Let us tell you in case you don't understand. Do you know, dear ones, that almost all the people who have ever lived on Earth since humans appeared here are present on this planet today? Did you know that? Is it any wonder that we call you family? Have you ever thought about that? And those who are rich in impressions from past incarnations will stand at the head of family groups and be pioneers of the new era. For they have been here before, and they know the plan, and they have been eagerly awaiting the opportunity to be here at this time. There are many more people living on Earth today than there ever have been. You may notice, if we take all those who have ever lived on Earth, passing from incarnation to incarnation, and compare them with the current population of the globe, it turns out that there are still more people on the planet today. Where did the rest come from? And we will answer, you are right. There are new entities here, and they have come from different places. They agreed to come here for the first time. You know them and can easily distinguish a newcomer. These are those who seem to have not the slightest idea of how things are on Earth. When you tell them things that should evoke a certain reaction from a regular Earth dweller, they look at you blankly. They don't react the way you expect. They also have other qualities that we will not talk about yet. These are the newcomers. Ah, love them all. They are pure. They come here with qualities different from yours, and we love them just as much as we love you. Others who help us. And what about other entities on our planet? There are not only people here. What about our support group, Cryon? You already know that you have mentors and angels. After all, we've talked about that. But now let's talk about those who have not been given much attention yet, about the placeholders, the divas, and the inhabitants of the forests and oceans, about those who guard sacred places waiting for their time, about the animals, about the invisible entities that live in the stones and even in the dirt, and about the energy that dwells in the sky. They are all here at your service, at the service of humanity. When my partner told you that the earth will change when you change, he was right. For even the dirt under your feet will vibrate at a new frequency when the vibration of people on the planet changes. This is what is happening now. It's just cause and effect. You move forward and the earth moves forward. That's how it is. And the next time you feel scared to watch the changes happening on the planet, remember that the earth is under repair and is simply reacting to the changes happening in you. Look at it with love and learn to see the appropriateness of what is happening. Be prepared. That much may seem surprising and scary. We have already talked about this before in more detail. Biology. Let's talk about human biology, one of Cryon's favorite topics. I know you might ask, why does Cryon talk so much about human biology? After all, Cryon is a master of magnetism, a specialist in the magnetic grid. And we say, dear ones, the grid was installed, changed, and shifted for one purpose only. We did this so that the magnetic imprint of your DNA would allow you to see the other side more clearly. The change in the parameters of the grid is made to change your biological properties, and after the changes in human biology occur, the planet will also change. So, although Cryon and his companions are planetary workers, they also work with people. That's what's happening, our alien heritage. Let's talk about this in more detail. As we have already noted before, your scientists will never find the missing link. It simply does not exist on this planet. That part of you that contains the spark of the soul, the spiritual principle, the higher self, the Merkaba, the imprint and plans of karmic lessons, is a biological gift from aliens from another star in your galaxy. Science will never discover the traces of the evolutionary leap that gave rise to humanity, but pay attention to the metaphorical story of Adam and Eve, for it is not far from the truth. New properties were given to you, and you multiplied them in approximately the way described there, but it happened simultaneously in many places on the planet. The biological seed was brought from afar, its transmission was appropriate, and behind it is a great spiritual intention. Let me tell you more about this biological gift. Its command sets are magnetic in nature. All its components and principles of operation are based on magnetism. This is why we recommend that you be careful with magnetic healing methods. This is why we recommend that you stop using magnets once you have achieved balance with them. Do not use magnets like you use a mattress or a chair. In other words, you should not use the healing energy of magnets all your life without any special purpose or intention. In this case, they will not do you any good. On the contrary, they will upset the balance in the body. Use them only until the necessary biological balance is established in your body, and then immediately put the magnets aside. Do you continue to use strong medications after healing? No. Understand that man is a self-balancing being. Didn't you know that? If the balance is disturbed, use aids to restore it, and then leave the body alone as it is capable of doing its job perfectly. Your biological system is designed to work forever if left to itself. It is designed for self-rejuvenation and self-balancing. However, the fact is that it is not left to itself because there are command sets in human DNA that count down the days of your life and cause aging. These commands ensure that chemicals enter the body that prevent rejuvenation and thus ensure disease, aging, and death. Oh well, what's the point of such tricks, you might ask? Why sow the seeds of premature decay in a body designed for eternal life and constant self-rejuvenation? And we answer, such is the divine plan, dear ones. This is necessary for the karma machine to work better, for which short life cycles are necessary. Life and death are components of the learning cycle on this planet. This has been the case until now. In the conditions of the new energy, you, the light workers on this planet, have been given the right to change this state of affairs. And, we repeat, we want you to stay. The old energy constructs that required you to come and leave quickly, fulfilling your task on the planet, are a thing of the past. Therefore, in the coming years, you will be given tools for rejuvenation, with and without the use of devices, with and without the use of chemicals. Some methods will be based on the use of internal life force. You will be able to change your imprints, stop producing the death substance, and significantly prolong life. Isn't it timely? And no, these innovations are not a gift from the Spirit. Oh, dear ones, this is a right you have earned. You have earned it. In recent years, you have united and begun to meditate in the sacred sixes, striving for sacred goals and guided by sacred motives. For you have seen God within yourselves and have followed the light. Your bodies are gradually increasing their vibrations, and every time you reach a new height, we will give you new tools, and you will rise to the next level of vibrations easier and faster. And here is a biological fact that we have not yet talked about during public channelings. Although some of our messages may seem mysterious to you, much will become clear thanks to upcoming scientific discoveries. Then you will say, "I remember," Cryon said about it. "Originally there was a mechanism in your cells that should ensure the health of the body. Cryon will call it the capture of proteins by hidden formations disguised as something they are not. This complex protein capturing system easily penetrates the cell membrane and passes from one cell to another. The disease transmission mechanism. Although you have observed this process many times when studying tissues, you have not understood what it is: protein capture. The task of this mechanism is to take healthy proteins and transport them intact to other cells so that these other cells remain healthy, even if some unhealthy proteins have already entered them. So, originally this mechanism was supposed to support the health of the body, but it has turned into a disease transmission mechanism, because new viruses that enter cells actively attack proteins. Proteins spoil, are captured, masked, and pass through membranes into other cells. What was once a defense against disease has turned into a hidden virus transmission mechanism. No one expected this virus to appear, but it was released. See UN channeling on AIDS. Look for this mechanism. By discovering it, you will be able to understand why cells infect each other in the conditions of the new energy. Each DNA chain has a magnetic imprint, but it is quite possible that your science, even enlightened science, will never discover it. People are not supposed to influence it, but perhaps you will see its shadow. We came to say that soon there will be scientists who, conducting other experiments, will be able to accidentally discover the shadow of the magnetic imprint. We will talk about this in more detail later, when we have a substantive conversation about biology. Raising vibrations. Some are moving to higher vibrations. We know about it and honor you. That is why we talk so much about the fact that man is now turning into something else, something close in its vibrations and qualities to those spiritual entities that surround you now. With each rise in vibration, you gradually turn into a stellar being, approaching a state where you look not so much like a person of old energy as your higher self. Let me explain to you. If you believe that you are one of the people raising their vibrations, let me ask if you have the following qualities. Some of you see and feel the surrounding entities. You wake up in the middle of the night in the full confidence that the room is full of people. Looking around, you see nothing, but they are there, and you feel them distinctly. Some even feel their touches and wake up in fear, but see no one. Many are very scared by this, as it seems to you that they are going to be kidnapped. Nothing like this is happening, but you are afraid of repeating these sensations. Ah, dear ones, let me say that this is a clear sign of your high vibrations, and these phenomena will not stop. In fact, they may intensify, and the reason for this is that you are vibrating at a higher level, close to the vibration level of those entities that support you on this planet. They are your mentors, living in the soil and even in the bowels of the earth. There are many such entities around each of you. Do not be surprised that you feel them. Those of you who work with the soil already feel them. They roam the planet among representatives of your culture who usually do not see these entities. The ability to feel them is a gift. There will be nothing to worry about, dear ones. This event will have a great spiritual significance. There is so much love in all of this. The very thought that you have reached this level delights the heart of the Spirit itself. The very thought that we can tell a group of people, you are changing, you are moving forward, and a wonderful and rich future awaits you. Until recently seemed incredible even to Cryon's companions. This planet of free choice has given you the opportunity to move in any direction, and you have chosen to move up. Finding your place. We recommend that you look for manifestations of synchronicity in all of this. You can say, "I like living here. I don't want to move." And we will answer that we respect this feeling. None of you will be called to another place if you do not have a passionate desire to move. We promise. The Spirit does not intend to take a person from his usual place and send him to a place where he does not like it. Some will have to move again and again until you find what you need. So don't think that the place you got to is final. Your life plan may involve constant changes, and in order to implement it effectively, you just need to ask, "Tell me what I need to know," then wait for the signs. Perhaps someone will suddenly start telling you about a place that interests you, and a week later someone will suddenly ask what you know about the same place. Pay attention to such events, for they are manifestations of synchronicity, which is a tool of the Spirit's work. Therefore, such signs are important. You are needed in certain places on this planet. All enlightened people want to be in the portals of the new energy, believe me, but this is wrong, because you cannot neglect other places on Earth. Therefore, many will be called and filled with a desire to move to other places to support the energy there. For example, I asked my partner to stay in the place where he had lived until now because his energy is needed there. We are gathering lightworkers there and representatives of the high science of the new era and healers, and they are designed to support the energy in that place. There is no portal there, but this area needs the energy that is supported by people with high vibrations. In this way, they serve the Earth. So perhaps you will have a desire to move to a new place, and synchronous events will contribute to this. However, you can say, "You are calling me to an unenlightened place," and we will answer that it is in this place that you are needed, and having gone there, you will be rewarded with a good job, good relationships with people and joy, good mood, good health, healing, and a sense of purpose. This is what it means to be in the right place. This is the cherished place provided for by the contract. Be open to any possibilities, dear ones, for we need exactly those workers who say, "Okay, I'll go, because I respect the process that draws me there." What can I do? Finally, there is a question. Cryon, what can I do right now? My dear ones, don't you understand that we know who you are? Don't you understand that we know what you are going through and what is happening in your bodies right now? This is all given to you as a lesson. You have dark secrets that you have not told anyone about. Do you think we don't know them? And if your body is devoured by a disease in front of which you feel helpless, do you think we don't know about it? And now we will tell you something that should send shivers down your spine. You have no incurable diseases. There are no hopeless situations, and all people involved in any situation can remain winners. This requires permission. Take your seat on the golden throne. This requires self-esteem and complete confidence that you are a part of God. It all starts with the inner being, so we urge you to sit on the golden throne of knowledge. See Chapter 1. This is the throne that Wu was invited to sit on when he was led through the rooms where the lesson takes place, one of Cryon's parables. Entering one of the rooms, where his mentors are not allowed to enter, he did not immediately realize that his innermost essence was there. This room gives him the opportunity to feel, "I am worthy to be on Earth." And during our stay here, we have told many, many people that we ask you to enter this room and sit on the golden throne. And having sat on this throne, you will gain access to other rooms, the room of wealth, the room of peace of mind, the room of health, and the room of the contract. No matter what you have faced in life, my dear ones, we know very well how hard it is for some of you now. However, your terrible puzzle has a solution, where there are only winners and no losers. When your co-creation in this particular situation will help change the lives of other people, and everything will end well. At the end of the tunnel, where you can only see impenetrable darkness, there is a light. You just